perhaps on a date in a case where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Victory played for the first time in Afghanistan in 3. For your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury, was doing full time. And it was also one of the most important elements of taking care of yourself. Just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved ones.
Visit AA Caregiving for a free military veterans guide to your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AA and the Council.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it. Slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it,
And share it. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure, doctor, we're getting those numbers down. Get it, slip it, cuff it, talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek.
When you find something that moves, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome to it. It is Old School.
I'm
we'll
still
be
in the
with
building.
Kenny and Jay, but yeah.
Why am I still here?
Ragtag crew.
Strick is still in the building because it's thirsty.
You already know, Kenny. You know what it is, baby. Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
He's like Ezel right now. Look at him. He's stomping his feet.
Yeah.
Thirsty Thursday means Kevin Meyer. Kevin, how's it going?
It's going great. You know, like when you scratch your dog in the exact right place and they get that foot going?
Mhm.
That's what Strick's doing right now.
No, because Thirsty Thursday, what it does, it takes care of my neck and my back.
Yes, sir. That was the screw cap right there.
Old School brought to you by Mercado Certified Piedmontese. We'll let Jay tell you more about that in hour 2. We're starting with the wine and back-to-back weeks.
A little rosé.
We don't have to, but I think it's a good way to go.
Listen,
And,
you're the expert. We're following your lead.
The theme for this week is all about the ladies. It's all about Mother's Day. And so you got to take care of your mom, take care of your wife. Even though your wife isn't your mom, you got to treat her like she is and get her the flowers, get her some rosé, get her some things that she can sit down and enjoy herself. This one is out of South Africa, of all places.
I'm trying to go there. That's a bucket list trip for Stricky.
Don't do it.
It's a bucket list. I need to hit it up.
So this is what I need to be looking for when I get down there.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is those vineyards in the Cape are many regarded as the most beautiful in the world, but because of apartheid, we had embargoes on South Africa and everything up until like the early 2000s, and so none of their wines and whatnot were available in the United States until apartheid ended, and they lifted it go. And what's interesting about this wine, it's a rosé, which you don't see very often. Ricky Rosé, that's right. We did carry the Ricky Rosé too, by the way. And in fact, I gave Rico a bottle for, I believe it was his child
anniversary
or his anniversary, but it had the light up label, had an LED label, so you hit a little button on the bottom and the whole bottle lit up. It was pretty cool. You'll have to ask him.
Fancy.
Yeah. But
oh, you fancy.
You're just quoting all kinds of stuff, aren't you?
I'm on fire, baby.
You are.
Thursday
excited. And, fire. Yeah, Thursday starts the weekend. Absolutely.
So I'm getting it started tonight. You understand me?
Let's get it started.
Let's
get it started.
Well, these two fools do their thing.
Yes.
Wine in South Africa, is that about the furthest south you're going to be getting wine from?
Well, they grow it
Antarctica.
all over they grow the grapes all over the world. So I mean, South America is big. So Argentina, Chile, and so what's interesting though, because they're south of the equator, though their seasons are reversed, and so they're harvesting in spring, wherein we harvest up here in like September, October. Now, what's interesting also about South African wines is that they're most noted for a grape called Pinotage, and Pinotage is a grape that doesn't grow anywhere else, just in South Africa, and it's a hybrid of Pinot Noir, which Stricky likes, and this grape, this Cinsault. So it's actually a little bit of both. Grows on the vine red, and how they made this one is, do you remember what the process is called when they let the skin stay in contact after the crush?
Yeah, I
maceration.
Yes, check out the big brain on Brad over here.
That's why he's the smart guy.
That's why we got him running the board.
Yes,
and he's the shooting coach in his mind.
In his mind. We all do, we all do big things in our mind. And then, that's the whole thing, is that when, if you have direction and you have energy and you're upwardly mobile, then the things that life throws at you tend to bounce off, and they don't redirect your.
He's speaking knowledge. Look, we got two smart guys in the room. I'm glad y'all in here.
So you got a nice tan. So is this kind of the one? Is this the kind of the drink that you would sit as you on the patio,
yes,
not pounding, but you're on the patio, laid out,
catching some rays.
Some rays.
Yep. I really enjoy sitting outside and on my deck, and this is a great warm weather wine. And we were talking about the maceration, where it comes out pink, but it's made from red grapes. Well, the skins are only allowed limited contact after they do the crush, and then they ferment it dry. So it's really a hybrid of a red and a white wine. And so a lot of times these rosés, especially these dry rosés, have like these fresh strawberry notes, but they're not sweet. And believe it or not, back when Thirsty Thursday was like brand new, I did the show with Adrian Fiala every week. And Adrian was super knowledgeable, really well-traveled, big wine guy. And of course, he loved Misty's prime rib. That was his go-to thing.
Misty's.
Yeah. And
the bites.
And one time he always said, I'm going to bring some Misty's prime rib in for Thirsty Thursday. And one time he did. And I brought in a rosé, and believe it or not, it actually worked really, really well. It was really nice. Are you taking mine too? Oh, we got a whole nother bottle over here. I haven't even had a drink yet. What are you doing?
My bad.
Good God.
Oh my goodness.
My bad. I'm sorry, I saw wine.
I'm glad you said that, Kevin, because it is sweet like a white, but I did get more dry out of it. Not like dry, but drier than I would have thought.
Dry,
yeah.
like a smooth dry.
Yeah.
Like not that hard,
the wettest
Merlot
drought you've ever had.
Dry.
It's not the sort of mouth puckering dryness.
Yeah.
And basically, when someone says dry, what they're talking about is the absence of sugar. So when they start with the crushed grapes, the grapes are very ripe, and so the juice itself is very sweet. And then they introduce yeast, which eats that sugar and ferments into alcohol and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is allowed to evaporate and escape, whereas then the alcohol stays put. And so generally speaking, the more fermentation is allowed to continue, the less sugar is left over and therefore making the wine a little drier. But this still has nice fruity notes to it without being cloying or and without being puckering either. It's just nice and smooth and fresh. It's fresh.
Fresh.
So in that case,
better chilled.
Oh yeah.
I think this is better chilled.
Yeah. Oh yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's aged like a fine wine. Do reds typically age better than whites, or what's the difference there?
Yes. So reds, again, because of maceration, the skin stay in contact after the crush. And so that's what turns the wine red. It also infuses what's called tannin, which is basically a natural preservative within the wine and makes a red wine more ageable. And everything ages on a bell curve. So it's so some wines age on a long, slow curve, some age on a more steep curve. But they all have a window of when they're going to be ideal, and then they'll tend to go the other way. So they won't continually get better over and over. They'll reach their peak and then start to go down the downward spiral in the back end.
What's that curve look like for a red versus a white? Like, what's the sweet spot after you get it bottled?
Generally speaking, whites you want to pretty much drink within the first, I would say, 3 or 4 years worth of from the vintage date. Now, there are whites that have more ageability than that. Reds, again, it depends on the type, and it depends on where it comes from too. So like your old world wines, like your say your Italian, your French, those are meant to be more long lived and age longer. Here in the U.S., we like everything immediate. We don't like to have to wait for anything.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, and so the winemakers intentionally make the wine more ready to drink from the get-go, because we just don't have the patience to wait. And so. But what that also means is that they generally won't age as long. They'll start to turn the other way. And basically what happens when a wine gets too old, it will kind of start to turn to vinegar. It'll get a little musty. It'll have generally proteins will collect in there. And so it'll create some, I just call it schmutz, sediment, you know, and whatnot. So it just kind of depends on the occasion and where it's coming from.
There you go. The Radley and Finch Cinsault. Is that how you say that?
Cinsault out of South Africa.
So on the back of this bottle, strict, it says flying off on a hot date, right? You need a wingman.
Strict, you don't need no wingman.
Never fly solo.
Got to have a good
Bring
night.
Radley and Finch.
Drinking on that Finch.
That's what it says. Radley and Finch.
Radley and Finch.
That's what it says. Don't fly solo. Bring it with you.
Okay.
That's your wingman right there.
That's your wingman.
That is my wingman, and he will be going in the car row with Striggy.
What does that run you at Myers Cork and Bottle?
These are only $15.
Woo.
Wow.
Yep.
Woo.
And so
okay, here we go.
And it's got a nice springy, fresh label. And so if you're at a loss for what to bring your mom or your wife or something like that for Mother's Day, pick up a bottle of this for $15, maybe some flowers, and I think you'll be good.
There you go.
Picks next week when I get back, because I'm taking a flight.
All right.
What else we got? We heard a good crack.
Yes, we did. So this again is kind of meant for Mother's Day. Say your mom or your wife is not a wine drinker,
That's
but
not a pickle beer, is it?
It is not a pickle beer, but it's a lime beer. And it is made by Cross Strain Brewing up in Papillion. And it's what they call tan limes. So kind of a play on words. So it's a
tan limes.
It's a lime lager, and lagers are beers that are cold fermented. They take a little longer than an ale. An ale usually ferments out in about a week to 10 days. Lagers usually take 6 to 8 weeks.
They take a little lager.
They take a little lager.
And he's a comedian.
Yeah. God. I mean, you get a little booze in him and
Let's
just
see.
I would have been a stand-up comedian, but I like to sit. So
yeah,
there's another one.
Dad humor. Yeah. This is great.
You're too young for dad jokes.
I know he's got one on the way. So
It is definitely limey.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good. Summertime, say you're taking the wife out to the lake, or where you're just sitting around the backyard, sitting by the pool, something like that. A beer like this goes really, really well. It's fresh. It's got a nice lime flavor. It's easy to drink. It's not a sweet lime flavor. It's more of a natural lime flavor. And like I said, I just try to be topical in what I bring and have a purpose behind it. And so this is all about Mother's Day. And say your wife's not a big beer person. I bet she would like a tan line.
She would like a tan line, and it's local.
It's local.
Nebraska Fresh is what it says on the can.
Nebraska Fresh.
Nebraska Fresh.
Just like Stricky.
Yes.
Don't.
So fresh and so clean.
You don't need to swell his head up anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm so fresh and so clean.
See?
I like this. It cuts through the hoppiness, the graininess the lime does without overpowering it.
Yeah.
Right through.
So yeah, like I said, if you're not a big beer guy or a big beer gal, this lime lager from Cross Train, it just kind of hits the spot on a warm day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a warm day today.
It is a warm day today.
It's cooling off a little bit now.
It's only 72 right now on my way in, but it
was 80 earlier.
Yeah, but
it
got cloudy and little drizzles, and it cooled off just a little
So
bit.
Kevin, what is that beer hitting us for?
I want to say these go for about $10 a six pack.
$10 a six.
Yep, and we do have them in the mix and match too. So if you want to just buy one to try one, then you can certainly do that.
But you'll be back for more than just one.
I would think so.
They're good.
And but that's the great thing about our mix and match section. We have like 180 beers that you can buy individually just to try them. And then if you find something that hits the spot, you can go back and buy a 4 or 6 or whatever it is that you like.
Yeah,
nice.
Sounds good. Great stuff.
There you go, Kevin Meyer, Myers Cork and Bottle. As always, appreciate it, Kevin.
Thank
Great
you,
work
fellas.
as always.
Yep.
My pleasure.
Smart man.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll do it again next week. We'll bring Jay in, kick Strick out. No, just kidding. Strick's my partner. I don't kick him out.
Strick got about 15 minutes.
I got about
we got to pick his
15
brain.
more to go.
We got to pick his brain a little bit.
Yep. Kenny, Jay, old school. Next.
You don't think about your...
This is Amara Smith-Spates from Nebraska Bowling. Some kids wish for a family dog. Others wish for a family. Over 100 kids needed a foster family and home. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day on Wednesday, May 24th, your gift goes even further. Go to givetolincoln.com to make your Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beers, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-23.
Spring sports are here and it's don't go right. Big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Spring is here and it's time to get those seeds in the ground. There's no time for delays if your equipment needs a new part. That's why Acre stocks thousands of premium John Deere parts for all your ag machines, planters, sprayers, and tractors. As what you need, diagnose. Visit acres.com to locate solutions for every field.
Hey, Motor Food creates old school comfort food with lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carryout, or schedule a catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Spring is here and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. This company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? What up? You got me on, Austin? Dang, it's light.
You're good. You're good. You're here.
Your own, brother.
I can't hear myself, but here we are, Old School with Strick staying over for a little bit. Kenny Will Height, Jay Foreman, E. Stricky, Austin. Brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop, located at 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat, every type of cut. One day we were asking Strick before Thirsty Thursdays about a multitude of things. We're going to start with the Philly Celtics series. How crucial and big of a game is this for James Harden and Doc Rivers? For their legacies or reputations, you know, because James Harden's getting a little bit long in the tooth, and he's always kind of been in these situations. He goes missing. He goes where he missed missed 20 shots in a row. Like when he was in Houston. You know, he's in Houston, right? You got a chance to knock out Golden State. There's a chance to knock out the NBA Finals team and the Celtics. You got to be blood. You got to have that. You got to have that.
Got to be a shark.
You got to be a shark. You got blood in the water.
I love what you're saying. I think Embiid's going to be Embiid. Because I just they don't have really an answer. Boston doesn't have an answer for Embiid.
Right.
I would say more of the pressure's on Mazzulla,
right,
the coach. The reason being is he's trying to establish himself, and him and his staff is going to have to come up with a plan to figure out not only offensively but defensively what we're going to do, how we're going to cover, which way we're going to cover, and who are we going to let beat us?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, are we going to shut Embiid? Are we going to shut this pick and roll? Or are we going to allow Maxey to just go nuts? They're going to have to let one of them
get their rocks off.
Get it off. They just got to decide on who that's going to be. On the offensive side of things, because they've been trying to throw different guys. They've been trying to throw at Embiid. They've been trying to throw Marcus Smart. They've been trying to throw Horford. They've been trying to throw Grant Williams. They've been trying to figure out whatever a combination or a mixture of them, and it hasn't been working. He's been 30 balling them, on the regular. And it's opening up a lot of stuff, but you've got now an aggressive, confident, but understands his role Harden. Like he's figured it out.
Right.
Like I think the best thing that happened for Philly was Harden having Embiid out that one game, he got his flow and his mojo.
Yeah.
And then Embiid comes back. He went into a shell and realized I can't do that. So now he figured out I have to be an in-between.
Yeah, happy.
And then in that, it's allowed Maxey to start to kind of get into a flow,
to grow up a little bit.
They're dangerous.
Right.
So I think Celtics are in trouble. Here's why. I talked about the inefficiencies right now of Tatum. Tatum has been, over the last few years, really
sometimes.
Watch it.
Sometimes.
Right? The most efficient guy has been Jaylen Brown.
Slap yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. If you look at the efficiency ratings of those players, the most efficient player has been Jaylen Brown. He's actually shooting 47% from 3. He's shooting 55% from 2. His free throw numbers are shady, but I would like him in the mid range, not necessarily attacking the basket where he gets fouled and his free throws become an issue for them.
Right.
Horford he needs a big night.
Yeah, right. He needs a bounce back.
He needs a bounce back.
Bad.
So if that doesn't happen, they're done. I don't think it hurts Missoula, but I think Missoula it can be questioned. It becomes a hot seat question for him.
Reconsider.
So I look at Doc first. If they do not win this series, I look at Doc first because this is a regular occurrence on the instance of Doc doing this, and it ain't just in trick off.
2010, right?
We going all the way back to the Clippers now. We ain't talking about just
Lob
Philly,
City,
right?
Yeah.
So then I look at Harden because I think his window's starting to close,
right?
And then they got to make a decision on what they're going to do with Maxey, because are they going to have enough cashola to keep him?
Yeah, because Harden's up too. Because remember, they talk about him going back to Onyx in Houston.
They've got to make it.
Onyx.
You stupid
man.
If you don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna leave that alone.
He said that's what during the playoffs. Hold on. He said during the playoffs he was at Onyx with the little baby listening in the studio, and he was tired. He couldn't close out the Golden State Warriors. He said it. I didn't. Then why would you? Why? Okay, let me ask you this straight. Since everybody's on me about James Harden in Onyx. He has his own parking spot, okay? So at Onyx. So let me ask you this. James Harden, okay, on the cusp of, he's on a playoff team, finally, right? Mm-hmm. And you're in a good organization, a city that seems like they welcomed him through his ups and downs. He didn't get booed when he had that bad game. And you've made a ton of money. I think he was the first 300 million guy, right? Remember he turned his nose up at 50 million from Houston. Remember that?
Yeah.
So 50 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're in the thick of things. And the East is, in my opinion, catching up to the West.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Milwaukee's a little shaky, right? They just fired the coach. They got to get younger. Cleveland's not there yet. They 2 years away. Right? New York is New York. New York just going suspect, right? James Dolan. They're going to mess up.
Brooklyn is still they kind of on the way, but
Brooklyn's you might got to watch out for them, but they need a real
big
alpha.
Mm-hmm.
If you're James Harden, why would it be a known that you want to go back to Houston for any other reasons by everything besides basketball? Because you playing with a bunch of rookies that play wild, ain't playing for nothing. And so when I say that, there is truth to that.
Yeah, there is truth because there's no other reason to go back there.
Oh, I know.
Unless they win the Wembanyama sweepstakes, there's no other way that I want to go back to you.
Right. And so now when you're thinking about James Harden and Doc Rivers, if I'm James Harden, I'm not saying you play for free, but if you got a good thing going, Maxey, because you got kind of like the older statesman, James Harden. Hopefully he's matured. Maxey's the young bull coming up. You got the ultimate professional in Tobias Harris.
Mm-hmm.
You got the alpha leadership in PJ Tucker. And then you got the MVP in Embiid. We were talking about it. There ain't a better starting five in the NBA.
Run it back. Yeah.
And the person you said, the question you asked, who do you let beat you? I told him yesterday, I'm running everybody off the 3-point line but Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let him shoot.
Everybody is getting run off except Tucker. I'm gonna die. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna let Tucker beat me.
I'm gonna die.
He said he can shoot it. I said
He can.
He can shoot.
He's capable.
He can
But
shoot.
I'm gonna let it. But
If anyone on that particular instance, I'm gonna die. I'm not.
Oh,
letting Jackson kill me.
No.
James Harden can't do it.
And Tobias can kill you.
Yeah.
And he can kill you.
I'm letting Tucker.
I'll sleep real good if Tucker hits the game winning three.
I will sleep.
I'll
fine.
run over there and give him a hug. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna sleep good today.
Yep.
So the next thing I want to ask you about the Celtics. Now you've been there.
I played there. Yeah.
And the Celtics, I'm telling you, what people don't understand about Boston, and I didn't realize this till I went to Harvard and ended up taking a cab. He was like, man, this is the most racist city in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very segregated up there.
Well, I will tell you, you're absolutely right. There's places that they literally told us
you can't go.
Don't be here at certain times.
Right. Paul Pierce got
true.
stabbed up in there.
Oh,
And
I know.
So the things within the Boston Celtics organization go all the way back to Bill Russell. But in present time, when you think of Danny Ainge coming in, pretty much handed a job, essentially, because he was down in Phoenix. He was third in command. Then he went back there. He messed up Phoenix, but Phoenix did okay because remember he was getting Shaq and all them, and then selling tickets. But then he goes back there, blows up the Phoenix. Okay, then he has the big three. Then all of a sudden now Rondo was an issue. Let's get rid of Ray Allen. Then all of a sudden that happened. Didn't keep Paul Pierce, who was behind Larry Bird and present time superstars.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy.
That's crazy,
right? Let him go. And
I don't care what status he's in.
Right.
You treat him like Dallas did Dirk when he was on his
gonna
way
play
down.
here
You're
until
legacy.
you on one leg, you playing until right, just like
Gotcha.
with Larry Bird and everybody. So that's there. Then you had the great story of Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
And then how they just jettisoned him like he was just nothing. And then you brought in Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens was there. Then you brought in Kyrie, right? Then you had the
It had to be something because listen, say what you will about Kyrie.
Right.
He's sound of mind.
Right.
There's something that had to been going on.
That's what I'm about to ask you. Then we got the coach, and then you got how they've played at times in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been smokescreen because people make excuses for him. You got two number one guys in Brown and Tatum. All they're young. Well, then they finally have a breakthrough. Or the year before, they're like, okay, they on the cusp. Then they have the breakthrough. Then they show in the finals the inability to close when they were, they looked like the better team. They looked fresher. They looked younger. They were tougher, but they just couldn't win. And now they're in the situation here when there's no business, especially with Milwaukee out of it, right?
Facts.
Now you on the cusp of elimination. Do you think, I'm big into the basketball and sports guys, but do you think it's something in that organization that's poisonous that it leads onto the court? Because even how they handled the head coach and that leaking out, that had to come from up top. Those are that's executive issue that just came out like that. That affects your players because they're thinking that's our leader. They're thinking he's coming back. Then they're like, oh, you can't be employed. Right. And so them players are seeing that because they're saying like, well, we've seen somebody else do that. So is it something in that Boston Celtics organization that obviously probably will never get out that's affecting them on the court?
So I'm gonna take you to the answer of my thought process on it, but let me give you a little bit of how this mojo or this self-sabotage or this poisoning of the well can happen.
Sounds like an organization.
Very similar to what Dallas did to itself. Dallas wins a championship. They have the opportunity to bring certain players back that helped you to get it. And you decide that they're not worth what they just helped to bring to you.
Yeah. You got brand new on.
And one goes over to New York, and actually, I think if I'm correct, he either's second or he wins the Defensive Player of the Year award in Tyson Chandler.
Right. Yeah, he did. He did win Defensive Player.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you let him go when he helped you, and he was part of the reason as to why you won it. Voice Genesis gets out there, and now you're trying to sign DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
And that goes south, and your program hasn't been the same since. So you've been able to get close, but you haven't been able. So sometimes you can put some own mojo in your own stuff that can mess you up. So over the course of years, even going back to our time, we get to the conference finals, and he basically let all of us go.
And this is Boston.
This is Boston.
Okay.
We none of us had the opportunity to run it back. So the GM that brought us there, that helped to bring us there, they didn't give us a chance to run it because Danny came in the next year, and me and Eric Williams and a lot of us went bye-bye. So you start your bad mojo
with how you treat people.
It continues that same process. Now you did right by bringing in KG,
Ray Allen,
Ray,
right?
But then
drafting Rondo, you
didn't finish it off,
right?
Because you threw more mojo in your own stuff by getting rid of one of the linchpins that helped you to become who you was and winning.
Sounds familiar.
And you know what people don't
Which is Paul Pierce.
what people don't what people underestimate about that Boston Celtics situation is Kendrick Perkins and the role that he played.
Yeah.
So he was their tough guy.
Yeah.
So KG's the mouth tough guy. Kendrick Perkins is about that.
Right.
So anything that needed to be regulated, he was doing it. Rebound and tough, and all that stuff. He wasn't a big scoring threat. Anything that he got 10 points and above was they winning. Then remember when they played the Lakers the second year, that's when he tore his ACL, right? Yeah. And they probably would have won it. They would have won if he didn't get hurt, right? So then Danny Ainge says, "Oh, now our unsung hero, our leader in the locker room, our regulator, we're just gonna get rid of you." So they just jettison Kendrick Perkins. So those are the type of things when you're running an organization. And strict, I want your opinion on this. Is in my opinion, in college football, there's not much difference between the college and pros.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like college football is equivalent of pro football. NFL is entertainment, right? Both of them, you got to run an organization. Trev's running an organization. Matt Rule's running an organization. John Cook and all that, they're running an organization. It might be many because of volleyball, but you're running an organization. And
scope is just smaller, but scale is real.
In your opinion, NBA running an organization, college basketball is probably there because when you think about Kentucky and all that, do you think that the correlation and how you treat people is so paramount now in the NBA because of the way that players view things? How, Kenny's watching me as a coach, whether you leave or stay, but how I treat you and how I deal with you.
Exactly.
Because Austin in Sacramento that's up for a whatever deal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think it's more imperative that you do it now versus when you were there?
Facts. And this is what I was talking about the Dallas situation.
Right.
Because they haven't been able to recover since. Dallas has been looking for all of the greatest free agents that come available.
Right.
They've been trying to acquire. Tell me when Dallas, since they did that thing, they've been able to acquire a free agent.
Right. Yeah. When he could
not a draft. You drafted Luka.
Yeah,
right. I'm talking about
or trade. Right, but a free agent when he can decide to go.
He makes a decision to come.
Right.
They haven't been able to do since they did that. They've never been able to recover from that. So you have that dynamic that does work because just like GMs communicate, players do too.
Even more. And I wanted to ask you this though, because you talked about the DeAndre Jordan. And obviously, there's a Doc Rivers tie in there because he was with
he
was with Lob City,
Clippers at that time,
and it was a foregone conclusion that he was coming to Dallas.
Yeah,
and then it was like the 23rd hour he decided to go back, and they thought coming to Dallas, I think it was $10 million at that time, and everybody's like, "Why are you paying him $10 million?" Because remember, LaMarcus Aldridge was a free agent then, or was up that last year where you either got to pay him or trade him, and they were like, "Why don't you get LaMarcus Aldridge?" Right? And they was like, "No, we want DeAndre Jordan." Well, do you think that decision? Right. Or in the lack of knowledge or forecasting what's important to DeAndre Jordan. Right. Because they were saying, oh, no state taxes and all that really hurt them because now their advantage of what they thought. Cool owner that you can stay in his guest house like Rodman did and all that stuff. Guy that's little bit younger and more. You can go and talk to Cuban about real life stuff. I assume, right?
Yeah.
Overestimating that, which led to
exactly
is something that they haven't recovered from, because it seems like you got Luka and you got Kyrie. Now it seems like they're just spinning their wheels, because there was a time where the Dallas franchise was looked at it like, yeah,
it's a place
that
to be.
Place to be.
Let me tell you where the mojo started. The mojo and the sabotage started when actually I was still there. So it started with Don Nelson, Big Don, not little. Big Don loved Stricky. Little Don loved Nash. Nash was my backup at the time.
Right.
But instead of doing the right thing and coming like to me and sitting down and having a conversation with me and saying, you know what, Stricky, we really like Nash and we really want to push him. How you feel about that? I have no problem with that. I'll be happy to come off the bench. I'm okay with that. But they shipped me to New York because they wanted to make room for Steve, because Steve having to deal with Stricky every day was a problem.
Right.
Right? Okay, I understand the business of that. But that's where it starts. Because what happened was Little Donnie usurped Big Donnie, because Big Donnie was Team Stricky.
Right.
And when we're having the conversation, I'm actually at a draft party that they sent me to. I've had exit meetings with Big Don. Big Don's like, you're an integral part of what we're trying to do here. We knew we was gonna win 50 games next year because we were coming
right
up. And they send me there, and then I get traded. The trade didn't happen because Big Don, but Little Don worked behind the scenes with Mark to get me up out.
So the chain of command gets off.
You see him?
Right,
So now you got Big Don is salty, and there was a kind of rift. There was a rift for a little while.
I do remember that. Yeah,
between Big and Little, and so now you start that. So ever since you started having issues with guys coming, going, they're winning, and then guess when they did it again? Here's how the mojo got messed up again. Steve Nash becomes available. They don't want to pay him. He goes to Phoenix and becomes the MVP 2 years.
Yep.
That's another part of the mess up mojo. So now you didn't sprinkle more foolishness into your joint. There's the cycle starts. Ever since then, they've been chasing, trying to get
playing dress
and then
up.
they end up paying Monte, or they go and get what's the dude that what's the dude they
ain't seen a shot he ain't like.
No.
Michael Jordan. He said he could beat Michael Jordan, and they thought he was the next
Harold Miner.
No,
I was about to say Baby Jordan.
What was his name? He was a guard. I want to say it starts with an M.
I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. His son is actually one of the number top guy. I know who you're talking about. He's from New York. He's a high school phenom. Yeah, I remember. I know who you're talking about.
And so they go and get him. Shoot, I can't remember his name. They go and get him. They OJ Mayo.
Yep.
OJ Mayo.
He was drafted
USC.
Yep.
They overpaid him.
USC.
Yep. Then they overpaid Matthews. And so everybody that came to Dallas at that point, they had to overpay, hoping that they would become what they were looking for. That's what. So similar teams like that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I believe Boston has.
Yeah, I want to ask you real quick before you get out of here. You can stay if you want to, but I always say there's about 6 to 8 organizations in the NFL that are really trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they come to work after like every day, everything's about winning.
Yeah,
is that true in the NBA? I mean, whatever number is not, because everybody just assumes everybody's trying to start the year off trying to win a championship. The reality is about 6 to 8, and then there's always 2 that surprise you that make the playoffs. I just wondered if you thought in the NBA there's organizations out there that just, I call it, they playing dress up.
I think there are. I think teams that really want to win and they have to do it a certain way, and this is kind of where they're at their fall off part. San Antonio, they like to win championships.
Right.
Okay. LA Lakers, they're championship hunting.
Miami Heat. Right.
They championship hunting.
Golden State
right is championship hunting. Not Chicago, not New York, not Brooklyn, not Cleveland. Well, actually, I think Cleveland tries, but they just don't. I think actually Milwaukee's trying.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
I think they try.
They have to.
Right. I think Utah wants to be in the mix,
but don't want to do the things that they need to do to get there.
There you go.
There's
Houston wants to, but they don't. Their organization is just blah, 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 right.
Yeah. What about Philly? You think Philly's trying to?
I think Philly actually wants to.
I think they do now.
I think they
had a little bit of the Jimmy Butler and kind of Ben Simmons, you know, kind of like the little merry-go-round and like
I think they want to.
Right.
Yeah. So you're right. I think there's a good. I say.
And we're probably missing one or two, but I mean, you got to think the first team that comes to
Clippers. No.
Hold on.
You know, there's teams like that no. Portland. No. Otherwise, they would have did something.
They would have did something to help.
And Portland's they're hamstrung by the location. They ain't gonna get no free agents. But the team that comes to mind that's playing dress up is another team that has a top 5 starting lineup. They going fishing. They catching catfish right now. Is Atlanta Hawks?
Yes,
right.
Sir.
You listen. You got the city.
Yes,
you got the support. You got the star power. You got the money. And then when you just look at
Charlotte too.
Yeah. But then when you look, but I'm just comparing the starting 5 now.
Oh, yeah.
When you compare that starting 5
to anybody across the world,
there ain't 5 teams that got a better starting 5 than that.
I agree.
And they got some guys. I mean, heck, they just got rid of old boy that's playing out at Sacramento.
Yeah.
Was it Hauser or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
You got rid of him. He was coming off the bench and marking too, right?
Marking.
Marking.
He's in Utah.
Yeah, but he was in
Atlanta.
He was there. They had just stockpiles.
I think Sacramento wants to.
They do now.
They didn't.
They did
for a
forever.
couple years.
Yeah, they didn't forever.
And if I'm a free agent, though, you brought up Portland. I'd want to go play with Dame.
I would. Yeah,
I would want to go play with Dame.
I think Portland is an S-hole.
I mean,
city.
Terrible.
Yeah,
city.
I've been there, but I would want to go.
You on the road 42 games.
Yeah,
or 41 or whatever it is.
I would want to go to play. I would want to
play with Dame, because I think Dame is unlike Kyrie. I think he's a scorer that knows how to play the game.
Yes.
So he gonna be down with it. You know what I mean? Versus if you go and play with like a little bit, I wouldn't say I would normally say Trae Young, but I think Trae Young took a step in a maturity game wise this year. I think Trae Young had one of his best years this year. So I would definitely go play with Dame. And plus, I think they got a lot of money with the owners. That's a good owner to know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, I need a favor.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think a lot of these players, though, Kenny, are what's important to them isn't the ring.
No,
I agree.
No.
What's important to them is social media
and the paperwork
and hanging out. Well, of course, the paperwork's always going to be number one, but it's social media and hanging out and having a good time. I mean, it is.
I agree.
If they want to do,
I sent you the video of your boy again.
Yeah,
Morant.
Right.
Oh yeah,
he out there again. I'm like
DJ Khaled, another one.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, my boy. Yeah, he wild.
You ain't learn your lesson.
That's what you call self-sabotage.
Yes.
That's self-sabotage.
Facts.
Yeah, man. We appreciate it, Strick, man.
Appreciate you hanging around.
Enjoy your Friday off, a 3-day weekend.
For sure.
We're gonna kick it. We're gonna do something.
Oh,
no, I'm just playing.
I know you playing.
Hey, I'm
about to catch another flight. I'm about to have a good night. I'm just playing,
hey,
y'all.
Man, Strick serenading us up in here. We're gonna come at the top of the hour, though. Kenny, the JoJo Doman interview.
Boy,
it went viral. Talk about author. I didn't even catch that. He said authenticity. I mean, once
I caught it.
Once JoJo started philosophizing, I was like, I tuned out to Tokyo. That just reminded me like I was in school again. I was like, hey, I
philosophy 101.
Yeah, I ain't hearing that. So I didn't really even pay attention, but we're going to talk about that because I didn't really even pick up on it at the top of the hour.
And 2 of my walk-ons on scholarship.
Yes, we're going to talk about that as well. We appreciate Strick staying an extra hour. Jay Foreman, Kenny Wilhite, Austin, Old School. We'll be right back.
For great views, go to Kansas. For unforgettable views of action-packed racing, go to Kansas. With a premier facility that gives fans what they want, how they want to see it. And with a Saturday doubleheader, a Sunday Cup Series race, and great deals on kids' tickets, the views will get better all weekend long. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 6th and 7th. Get your tickets today at kansasspeedway.com.
Dive into good times and great savings when you take advantage of the above-ground swimming pool sale happening now at Bonzall Pool & Spa. All in-stock swimming pools are 50% off through the end of May while supplies last. You don't want to miss out on this hot deal. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers today. Learn more about the promotion at bonzallpool.com. Bonzall Pool & Spa, every day made better. Shopping for insurance can be a frustrating and tedious task. Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln has a full staff of licensed professional agents who will do the work all for you. Brokers utilizes over 20 insurance companies to save their clients money. Brokers Insurance Agency will always do what is in the client's best interest and will find the best program to fit your needs. Call Brokers Insurance Agency today at 402-420-5353 to get a quote today, or find us online at brokersinsurancenE.com.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Hi, I'm Barb Bettine, President and CEO of the Lincoln YMCA. On behalf of the Y, I want to thank you for voting us Lincoln's Choice for Best Youth Sports Programs, Best Youth Activity Programs, and Best Preschool. These categories represent so much of what we do at the Y, and we're honored to serve thousands of families in our community each and every day. Hey, with summer just around the corner, I invite you to hop in to one of our 4 branches and learn how the Y can be a part of your family. The Y Outdoor Pools open May 27th, and we can't wait to see you.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back on schedule. Old school Kenny Wilhite, Jay Foreman, brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese and special ingredients and butcher shop, located at 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat and every type of cut. We appreciate Strick staying for an hour, Thirsty Thursday, but then staying and dropping some NBA knowledge so we can really pick his brain on, the Celtics and James Harden and so forth and so on. But Kenny, like we alluded to before we went into the break, we had JoJo Doman on, I think, was it Monday?
Mm-hmm.
And, we interviewed him about some stuff about, I was just asking about his first year. And then obviously we asked him a little bit about, when it's playing time here. I have to be honest with you. Okay. Once JoJo start philosophizing, and I love JoJo. Right? I'm just saying. Once I asked him what's the one or two things he was going to get better at, after, looking,
for a second year.
Second year, because I generally would, I've been there. We look at your, look at you like, man, I need to get, you
Mm-hmm.
always are just disgusted by your film. And he was talking about fast twitch muscles and all this other stuff, and talking about he had to mentally retire from football to recharge, and he had to manifest his new energy.
He had to do an AA run,
but
for a week.
I just stopped listening. It was just like white noise to me. But I didn't know in that white noise, this is the honest to God truth, that, he threw some shots over the bow and, saying that Scott Frost wasn't coaching authentic. I don't even know what that means, but it went somewhat viral. I will say, I don't know what authentic means, and I'm assuming that wasn't, he was there and physical, but not present. I'm assuming that's what he meant, but it took off. It went from 93.7 The Ticket, 15-minute interview, to I saw it was everywhere on every other,
popped up on
Google and all this other stuff. Now it's funny though. Frost always thought brothers wasn't doing right. Brother just asked a general question. Now we associate with it anyway.
Yep.
I mean, damn if you do.
You just get a kid that's speaking from his experience,
right,
with what he saw and what he had to deal with. Now, is that for every kid?
Yeah,
I doubt it.
I don't think it's.
I don't think it's for every kid, but he's a guy that's going to speak his mind,
right?
And he's a guy that knows. And when he used the word authentic, like we always say, a kid can read you if you're being authentic with him, if you're being real with him, up front.
Yeah.
And that's just how he felt,
right?
Dealing with
the coach
and the coaches, and
yeah. And I think, I will say this, from being coaching JoJo isn't like coaching a regular student athlete.
No.
Okay.
But
he high maintenance.
JoJo,
he high maintenance.
Can be high maintenance.
He's from the Y generation. So
Yep.
you're going to ask why.
And most kids will not.
Right. But he's magnified,
yes.
supercharged. But that doesn't mean that he's a bad kid. It just takes more effort to coach him.
Yes.
And then if you're not just, I always say, if you're not just baseline coaching him, he gonna have a problem with
it. He will. And
right. And that's
I saw it. And
yeah. I mean, that's generally what he was saying. Now his experience, there's other players that got a good experience. I don't really necessarily think JoJo had a bad experience. He ended up being All-American.
No, I don't think he had a bad experience playing for Nebraska. I just felt like, from his words and just watching him, that his why was not answered.
Right. And then and to Frost's defense, and by no means am I a Frost defender, right? I'm an adult defender, right? And I'm a coach defender, probably to a fault,
Me too.
And this is why I have such an issue with Frost, though, right? Because I defended you rightfully so, because I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think so, right? Now, because when you're caught up in it, you're always saying, okay, well, let's find, instead of complaining, let's figure out how to figure it out.
Yes.
Right. So regardless if I'm on the radio or not, I ain't changed my colors. You know what I mean? The university and the football team come first, and DP and them known that way. So that's my issue with him when he tried to act like that wasn't kosher. But to his defense, as an adult and a coach, that I understand it's the Y generation, but you necessarily don't have to answer 10 whys, right? And here's what I mean. So if he walks into a coach and say, why this? He answers it. Well, then it can't be 6 questions later.
No.
Because then it's like, are you trying to be the coach and you trying to overtake the team, or am I taking over the team? Because sometimes it's got to be, this is the way I'm doing things. It is my way or the highway. Or it's my way, or you're going to be looked down upon.
Yep.
And so I do defend the coaches and the coaching staff in that form or fashion, because I think sometimes if you get too involved with answering the why, all the whys, then essentially you lose the power as a coach, and there needs to be a pecking order.
Yes.
There needs to be a level of respect. There needs to be a level of, I might not have to like you personally, but I respect you as an authoritative figure. So I'm going to go and do what's best for the team and the university before me. Now, is that the fun way to do it? No. Is that how kids generally think? It's probably 50-50. But in this instance, I'll give Scott and those guys a little bit of leeway that way.
I always tell kids, you may not like your coach or a specific coach, but if you in it for the right reason, right? You're playing for guy to your right, guy to your left.
You're playing for your family.
You're playing for your
whatever,
family,
yeah.
the university, the guys that came before you, and the guys who are going to come after you.
Right. So the coach is like
coach is
10th on the list.
Yeah.
It is.
But if you let them get to you, get you out of your square, you screwed.
And some of the things that they were asking him to do versus what he's saying he wanted to do, it didn't match up. I will say it didn't match up. But like, if you want to be a leader, then you have to do leader stuff. You can't say I want to be a leader, but I'm gonna do it my way. And it's totally different than what everybody wants you to do. Right. And I always ask players this. You could say that, I don't mess with Coach Jay. I don't mess with Coach Austin. I don't mess with Coach or Kenny. Whether you like him or not, or whatever, you got an issue, maybe because you're not playing or, whatever. I was asking, do you want to play pros? 99 out of 100 say yeah.
There you go. And
if you think that you're going to go to the NFL and you think every coach you play for is going to be hunky-dory with you, don't even play. Let alone flip it. If you think every coach is going to like you, you sadly mistaken. A coach won't just like you just for a simple fact that he doesn't want to like you so he can find a reason to cut you or trade you or play somebody else. You could be the first one in, last one out, hardest worker, make plays, grade out the best, and be sitting there on the cusp and not making the 53-man roster. And they will get you up out of town quick. So as much as you think you have this, like I call it the like power, right? Of do you like the coach, and are you going to recruit other people not to like the coach? If you have aspirations of playing professional football, and let's just take it, and that's an easy analogy. Well, let's take it even outside of football. Say you have a coworker that you don't like. What you going to say if you two are supposed to go into a sales meeting? Well, I ain't going in there with Kenny. And Austin's the boss. Hey, you two need to go get this sales done. No, I can't mess with him. Well, then guess what? You ain't got a job. That's just the way it goes.
Should be the boss. No, I'm kidding.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the way it is. And so that's life.
You're teaching them the game of life when you break it down like that. And that's what I've always tried to do, even in his situation.
Right.
He would come and I'm like, listen, bro.
You really don't got it that bad. Because if he didn't really like you, you wouldn't be playing.
Even though he was our better player
hold
at the time.
On. I'm saying, here's what I told her. Here's what I did tell him. I said, that's fine. I understand your complaint.
Yep.
Because I think when I first got there, I was getting complained. I mean, what Deontay Williams and this
they were busting your head.
Right. But first of all, they was looking at me sideways.
Yeah.
Right. because they didn't know if they could trust me.
Yeah.
But then finally, I had to pull them to the corner and tighten them up. So listen here, bro. We bros before all this stuff, so this ain't no informant type stuff. So I was dealing with them the first 3-4 weeks when I got there.
Them two can be a handful.
But I went back and down, and I understood it.
Oh yeah.
But then when I did talk to JoJo, I said, "Listen, man, you really don't have it that bad because I've seen it at the pro level. We didn't really happen when I was in college. But all I know is, and I've heard about it other places, if he really didn't like you so much, you would not be playing A down." And he's up with you. I said they would run a defense that you couldn't play. This defense is centered around you. You are able to play a position formulated for you, which makes everybody else has to play around you. You are a freelancer in this defense. So yes, you might have some philosophical issues, right? But the most important philosophical issue is you playing, because that will take care of everything. So I mean, there's truth to both sides. I will say that, and I do say, like I said, I'm not a Frost defender, but I will say that him being let go and the staff being let go wasn't totally his fault. Now, granted, you're the head coach, you make the most money. I think you are the highest paid state employee. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? And
You're right.
Okay, because Nebraska's a state.
You are right.
Okay, so you're held accountable for everybody.
Yep.
Whether it's coaches, associates, and all that stuff. But I'm also not oblivious that there are other things that, derailed the success. And also understand there's relationships that, I'm sure there's hopefully some regret on, the staff or coach, as well. They're like, oh man, I could have probably handled that better.
Yep.
And that's the only way you're going to move forward. And ideally, as JoJo goes along in his professional career, whether it's football or, I know he's going to have a microphone. I can see JoJo being like, what's the dude, Seamus? Remember the dude that used to have the cowboy hat? And he was one of the first podcasters. Remember, it was Howard Stern and him. Was it Seamus? Anyways, I can see JoJo having his own show and all that when he's done playing. So, but I'm saying, as he goes on his professional career and learns more on his own, they'd be like, yeah, I could probably done this a little bit better. And that's what everybody was hoping for when Frost came back. That you could like, okay, yeah, you're 40 years old or 40, whatever. He's 40, I'm 47, so he was 5 years. He had to be over 40 when he got the job.
41.
41.
41.
So you're a lot different in 21 and 41. What ideally, right? So then that's what you like to understand from both sides as far as what JoJo said. I think, hey, look, man, there's a lot of reasons why they should have been successful. Though there was a few reasons why they weren't. I do think COVID. I think the situation and the plan that was first brought in for them to be able to have a couple years runway, that means you're going to blow up the team and be extremely young, which on the surface, that's okay. That's what you got, that 7-year contract. That's what you can do. But along came COVID and everybody else kept getting older and we just stayed young. And I think that killed Nebraska. And then when we tried to hit the transfer portal, we already know you 3-4 years in losing. Ain't nobody coming in there, right? And so I think those circumstances, which the head coach and the coaching staff and the administration, including yourself, that you guys had no control over that. You had no control over when you were going to play, how you were going to develop players, because everything was stymied. So, and here's why I say this. And again, I'm not defending Scott and the staff, right? But I'm just talking in general. Say Austin's the head coach. Me and Kenny are in the
good choice.
Right,
great choice.
Me and Kenny are in the developmental stage. I'm a linebacker, you're a DB, and so we're in a crucial part of our development stage. After our first year, maybe play a little bit in our redshirt freshman year, or we start to take a big jump in our redshirt freshman year, practice-wise, maturity-wise. Our grades start to go up, our attendance and stuff like that start to go up. Then we need a really big jump in winter conditioning as far as everything we're doing off the field. We're not, the stories of us hanging out all night, those are starting to dissipate. Then boom, COVID, and now we're back to the square one that they were actually trying to get us to take a couple steps. And so then I think if you had a lot of those with young players, where you're not a veteran-led team and you're not a veteran-led organization, right? I think it didn't bode well at all. But with that being said, I think obviously I felt like they should have been more successful, or could have been more successful. And then that's how you probably got some feelings with like JoJo, and you got to think he probably has a little bit different look at it now, is in the sense of, he was never able to be on a winning team. I don't think since he's been here. Then he had to deal with some injuries and stuff like that. So I think his college experience is obviously significantly different than ours. I mean, we were playing we was in some games, and we was coming in to the Ohio States, the Georgias, and stuff like that. The pressure on us was not to mess it up. The pressure on them was to get it started. And sometimes and with no plan. You know what I mean?
From the top down.
Right.
Bad plan.
Right. So then that's where the fault goes there. Yeah. But the uncontrollables, you can't fault anybody for that. And so I just think it's his probably comments come from a few different angles and stuff like that. I didn't catch it. I wasn't. I mean, I was being a bad radio.
I heard it.
I wasn't.
You were ADD at the time.
Yeah. Once I'm telling you.
No offense.
Once I heard manifesting and all them big words that I didn't. He said a word in there. I didn't really. I was like, hey. That's why
he used too big of a word.
I cut it short. I said, look, man, I appreciate you, man. Go ahead, kick butt second year. I just can't do it, man. You've been reading the books, man. You went and saw the Dalai Lama or something. You know what I mean?
Boy, you off the chain.
I'm just saying, I just couldn't. My neurons in my brain weren't firing like that, man. So I apologize that I didn't catch it. But we're dealing with it right now. I felt like it was a good segment or a good time to kind of
address it
because we definitely didn't. It wasn't planned, but who knows? They're gonna blame us anyway.
I mean, it ain't our fault.
Right.
I mean, you got a kid that spoke how he felt, and again, that's not all of them, but some of them do feel that way.
And that's gonna, and the thing.
And the thing that people were talking about, why is this all coming out now? Well, you in a situation, and I'm in a situation where we have to be loyal.
Oh yeah.
To our boss.
Oh yeah.
Period. Point blank. Yeah. We have to have. If Austin's our boss, we gotta have his back, right or wrong, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
and you can have my back without always telling me yes.
Yes, but when you tell a person that's not the right way to do it and they don't listen, then that's not your fault. So but loyalty to a fault, but again, that's not everybody's experience at the University of Nebraska. So
right, yeah. I mean, people always say, "Why didn't you come?" Listen, man. First of all, I don't put the judge hat on. And I ain't got time. I mean, I'm not going to practice and just get on the internet and be like, "This is what I saw at practice."
No, you can't.
It can't, and I won't.
I don't
have time for that. Second of all, I'm not gonna sit up here and try to bash a former teammate. That take care of itself if that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, it did.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm gonna do because at times I don't think it'd be hard pressed for me to think this. Okay, that Scott Frost got on a plane from Orlando, which is Central Florida, right? That's where it's at. After you go 12-0, coming back here making $5 million a year, and he probably made close to $45 million his whole time here. That he's gonna get off a plane and say, my master plan is to be the worst coach that ever played at Nebraska. Piss the fans off 10 times more now than I did when I was playing, and be, I wouldn't say one of the most hated men in Nebraska, but he's definitely definitely a lightning rod.
We're not mad, we're just disappointed.
Well, and that's even worse.
Yes,
because mad you'll get over. Disappointed, that lasts forever. I like I said, I can't speak for the man. Okay, I won't speak for the man. I will say him. I don't think there was a coach on the coaching staff that was their master plan. Now, I felt maybe they came up there with a plan. They had to adjust and didn't adjust right, or whatever it was. I know that they had to change their view of athletes coming into the Big Ten. That had to change. What you could look at it two ways. You should have known, but actually, when you found out, you changed.
Mhm.
So there's negatives and positives on that. But I don't think that was his master plan to get on a plane, come up here, and really like embarrass himself. First of all, nobody coaches that way.
No.
It just happens that way. And I think sometimes in his mind, he's thinking, if this can go this way, it can work. But then sometimes it can. But you also got to push that way too.
Yep.
And so, hey man, I think it's hard to put it to bed. It is though.
It's going to be hard to be. It's going to be hard.
It's hard to put it'd be different if Scott Frost was just, say Scott Frost played at Idaho State. People wouldn't even care.
Mm-mm.
The fact that he played here and
he's from here.
He's from here, but when he played here, well, first of all, he spurned Nebraska.
True.
Came back, played, had some issues, and was a lightning rod then.
Mhm.
Okay, whatever. I know he still was mad because he got booed and all this other stuff. I mean, that's another thing. I wasn't even paying attention because I know I was drinking Gator Lights. Katie, it was hot that game, man.
Oh, I know.
It was hot.
I watched it.
Right,
And I was hot.
Yeah, well, I mean, so, and then you come back here. I just think it's tough, man. It's a tough situation because I could tell you this: everybody in this state, when he was hired, thought that was the only choice. It was the right choice, and it had to be the choice. I think Bill Moose would have got fired if he couldn't have hired Scott Frost. Not fired, but he would have been on the hot seat. So it's not like, hey, there's not too many people who can say call in here and say I told you so. Now I think people were probably more hopeful that things have changed. Hopeful
Mhm.
based on what happened down in Central Florida, and it didn't work out. It didn't.
No.
And so but I think also, you still gotta like move forward with the new coaching staff, and you got to give them an honest chance. And it's okay with them to be. I think it's okay to be on a wait and see. I do. And if I was a coach, I'd be cool with that. If I was a head coach, I'd be cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't show up to the movie with a pre-written review.
Do not.
Right. If you do that, and wait and see can't be so short-sighted if we don't play good against Minnesota or we lose against Colorado or that we win against Minnesota and Colorado and then we're back. It's got to be, let's take this game by game, step by step. And then over time, if you continue along the right path, then we'll look back on 2023, say, man, I'm glad we both meaning the coaching staff and the players and the fans or whatever went through it together.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot easier. So, that's our segment on JoJo Doman and Kid Frost. We're going to get into some more NBA talk. We're going to talk about my man Anthony Davis.
Oh my God! Well, Darvin Ham just said that he's not in the concussion protocol.
He playing,
but he looked like he was dying.
Yeah, that's why I want to ask you: have you ever played with somebody
No.
Every time they get hit, every time I watch it, like, man, what is he hurt now?
Yeah, I'm like, I understand there's freak accidents that happen.
And Looney was wild too.
And you take an elbow to the temple, in boxing, if you get hit in the temple, you're gonna go to sleep. Or if you get hit on the side of your head in football, that's possible concussion. But come on, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. Do we need to go to break?
Yeah, we're going.
Okay, we're gonna go to break.
Okay, we'll go to break, and you're gonna light it up.
Then I'm gonna light it up.
Kenny Will, Jay Foreman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Dive into good times and great savings when you take advantage of the above-ground swimming pool sale happening now at Bonsall Pool & Spa. All in-stock swimming pools are 50% off through the end of May while supplies last. You don't want to miss out on this hot deal. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers today. Learn more about the promotion at bonsallpool.com. Bonsall Pool & Spa, every day made better. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh man, Kenny, man. I gotta ask you, man. We're gonna stay on this NBA. You know, since we're not gonna be on, maybe tomorrow I was gonna do a little hockey, but we're gonna do NBA.
Hockey.
Oh, I love hockey. I love playoff hockey. Love it.
I'm gonna give you some said entertainer from talk about hockey.
They said
like,
that brother
people don't play no hockey,
hey, man. If I could afford hockey, I would have played.
Really?
Yeah, it's expensive sport.
Just like golf.
Yeah, and I ain't play that either.
Exactly.
So, anyways, Anthony Davis. Now I knew I kind of watched the Lakers game, but I knew it was. I mean, we knew they weren't gonna win, right? No, number one, Golden State's gonna defend in the NBA, and I mean, Golden State would have to do more to lose. you know.
Got you.
But towards the end, Anthony Davis got bopped upside his head. Next thing you know, he's leaving the stadium in a wheelchair.
Well, first of all, he didn't leave the stadium.
He got pushed. He was in a wheelchair.
He sat on the bench like a 3-year-old for 30 minutes. If I take a shot like that, I'm not going to show you my weakness. I'm walking into the locker room,
right,
or in the tunnel at least. And you ain't wheeling me out in a wheelchair.
Right.
If I walk off the court, I can walk to the ambulance or however.
Or walk to the team bus.
Or walk to the team bus. However I'm getting to the hospital or the examination room. If I physically walk off that court, that's how I'm going to where I need to get. You ain't finna wheel me in a wheelchair. Come on, bro.
I'm asking you ever played with somebody like that?
I have not. And if I did, I would have been on them.
I think we've all played with that person at one time or another. They get touched, they fall down, they crumple, the world's ending, and then they get back up in 15 seconds.
I don't know who was the coach, but I remember I was talking to Jason Peter. I was like, these dudes in Nebraska, sometimes when they would act like they were hurt.
Oh,
and they
previously?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they would act like they were like got shot by. They'd be acting like they did. And then I'm like, oh, he out for the rest of the game. And he'd be back 2 plays later.
And I would say the same. I'm like, bro, get off the ground.
Right. Laying there.
Laying there. You got your toe stepped on.
Right.
You had a fingernail. You got, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're not dead. Get off the ground.
I ain't going to say who it was. I saw somebody get hit. And now he got his cap peeled.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was somebody squared him up, get hit. The pill was there on the ground. Didn't get it. And that's it. Oh, my shoulder hurt.
Golly.
Yeah, Anthony Davis is one of those guys, I think, tremendous talent. He needs that body armor.
Is he fragile? Is he soft?
Well, he got mad at me for calling him soft a week ago, so I'm not going to say that. He's fragile.
That's the thing. I think
very fragile.
I think his pain tolerance is low.
That's a good assessment.
I think his pain tolerance is low. I think part of his problem was, I'm telling you, Anthony Davis is the type of player that you constantly have to work it here
mentally,
because I think these guys, they knew going to Golden State that Golden State most likely was going to win that game, and it was going to be pushed for them to win the game. He played accordingly. Wasn't as physical, wasn't as, and they were getting him off his spots. The rest were letting it, everything go. So
when it's going good, he's
front runner.
Yeah. When that kitchen gets hot.
But the worst thing about it is he controls the whole NBA playoffs.
Oh, I know.
If he plays good, he wins.
I know.
And I think also for him, he got satisfied real quick. Won a championship, because when they won a championship and then came into the next training camp out of shape, he got satisfied.
He looks out of shape.
It was like one. I think all his knick-knack injuries, the little ones,
were coming because he's out of shape
in off season. You got LeBron there. My man's played 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, he's had some, but
20 years he's going to have
right. But if you look at that man physically,
yes.
Okay,
his body hasn't changed.
I'm in LA. We working out every morning.
He ain't doing that. AD.
Right, but that's what. But the thing is, here's what a lot of players don't understand. This is even at Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
Or even pros, and I don't really think it's different. If you work out with LeBron, and say you have the same amount of injuries, they're looking at it like you got a string of bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
You work out on your own, continually doing the same thing that hasn't worked all the way from back in New Orleans, right? Then they say you soft. Then they say you fragile. Then they say you're not competitive. Then they say you're a front runner. No different than, yes, I think some guys should, have your trainers. But if you're supposed to be there in the offseason lifting weights, then you be there at the stadium. The more times you're seen, the more time that you can cement yourself as a leader and a hard worker, the more times that you can, essentially put the onus on them if something doesn't go right. Right. And then you leave for specialty stuff and then, play the game. And I think with him, he has to address his offseason training immediately. And I will tell you this, there was a video in this offseason, and it was when who was the Lakers that when they picked up? Was it Westbrook or somebody they were thinking about picking up? And AD said he hadn't picked up a basketball.
Yeah,
since
he
April.
said that.
Right, since April.
Why would you even say that?
Right. No, why would you even say it? Well, first of all, why would you even be doing
it?
And then why would you even say it?
Exactly.
Well, then that lets you know if you're not picking up a basket, and this is your profession.
Preach, brother.
Right. If this is your profession, then I know you're not in the gym. Yeah, you're not coming in there with a dad bod, right? But you have to maintain. I mean, if you think LeBron looks like this because he only works out 6 weeks before training camp, you're crazy.
Yep.
He might take a week or two off, and I guarantee you, even when he's on vacation, he's
working out.
He's having a mini workout.
Oh yeah.
It's year round.
You can think you going to a high school and shooting around with your boys, throwing a couple dumbbells up. That's a workout. That's not a workout.
Mm-mm.
You got to get at least an hour and a half in the weight room, and an hour on the court.
Right.
Every day.
Every day.
Now you may go Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, go Thursday, Friday.
Saturdays. Take Sunday off.
Sunday off. But other than that, you got to be working on your craft, or these type of things are going to happen.
Right.
Knickknacks here, bumps here, bruises here.
And really what he doesn't understand. And we're not saying he doesn't work hard.
No.
Right. Well, I think Joel Embiid is a perfect example. He had to change his diet, and he had to change his off-season workout. He said it. Because Shaq and Barkley were telling him, bro, you got to stop eating McDonald's. Right? I mean, they told him on live air.
That make chicken fire, though.
You like the McRib?
No.
I always get hyped when they say the McRib is back.
You eat those?
No, but I just get hyped when I see it says McRib is back.
Austin eats them, don't you?
No, never once and never.
Yeah, but if you look at Embiid,
he's changed it, and he hasn't missed as many games.
There's a reason why.
Right, because all season. So if you want an example
MVP.
of Anthony Davis, this is what you could be. Because if Anthony Davis had the focus, and here's what Anthony Davis does not understand: he's immensely talented. If he keeps going at the same rate, and if they win another championship, he'll end up in the Hall of Fame. So who am I to tell him anything?
Exactly. Me either.
But I can give you advice from outside looking in and a former athlete is that if you really embrace getting physically in shape, or becoming more of a physical presence, that confidence that he's going to gain from it, he'll power right through the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because his skill set is next level.
It's very next level. That guy, that big,
with that amount of skills,
with guard skills,
yeah, he could be unstoppable.
He can be unstoppable if he was
focused and driven. And I think sometimes that's what you see with some people. What they view as success can derail their long-term success, versus when you have like LeBron, a Jordan, Kobe, Larry Bird,
Magic.
Okay, Magic. Oh, I got one. Oh yeah, I like this feeling. Oh, I want to win it. And really, to be honest with you, if you want to draw, into Nebraska football, this is where I think people miss the mark from the winning teams, right? So even all the way back from the 70s, always to the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, where they try to draw this line in there, right? And say, okay, we don't want to hear about it, right? Ain't nobody really talking about that. Well, there's a few guys that continue talking about it, but I always tell them, I want them to experience the best drug I only smoke weed, but
Damn.
But best drug. People in there, they're like, what drugs you've been doing? The best drug that you could have is that winning feeling
mm-hmm.
that you want it again. That winning feeling of accomplishment, of working as hard as you can, going above and beyond, right? For a common goal, and then for a personal and common goal, and you achieve it as a team. There's no feeling like it.
Nope.
That's what I want them to feel. Because once they feel that and understand it, and I think you guys got a little bit of it beating Iowa. I'm serious. Doing something that ain't been done before. 7 years. Guys ain't never even came close to beating Iowa. You guys did it when you didn't. The year that you ain't supposed to. They got everything to play for.
Yep.
Nebraska didn't have anything to play for. Already kind of knew that the coach was, the new coach was coming. That's what you want. That's what we want for him. Because once they get that, all the players that are kind of like, well, we need him to have a good year or we need him to step up, all those guys will do it because they'll be motivated in a way that they've never been before. They won't need a weight coach to be, hey, I need you here during not mandatory workouts. So if you get 3 weeks off, the attendance will still be 85% above.
Yep.
So then you'll be looked down upon, right? Austin, this will be a scenario is say they do get that win and get going, right? And winning. Me and Kenny are in there and say we're all in the same position group. And Austin say he's a, player, whether he's a rotational player or a good player or whatever. And he goes home for a week and a half. When he comes back, we looking at you crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm eating your dust.
Yeah.
It's not that
it's not that we're questioning your intentions.
Your intention.
But even that week, I mean, I'm sure I'm behind.
If that was not your only problem, there's ways to catch up.
Yes.
Because you're already a superior athlete. What you're losing is credibility.
Mm-hmm.
And when the competition is so thick, losing credibility is more important than losing a couple days in the weight room. Because really, if you're really about it, you'd be working out back home because you'll have the stuff. So you really wouldn't be losing. That's that. What you'll be losing is your place in the pecking order on the team.
Yep.
And then that when really what you'll need that speed for, Austin, that you're known for is to catch up to the train because the train has already left the port. You'd be like in those old Westerns running, trying to get into one of the old cars. Straight up. That's the analogy to it. Because I'm telling you, I've seen guys do it. Went home, come back, like, bro, where you been? Like, what did you have family stuff going on? No, I just wanted to go back home. Oh no. Then you're just in the back of my mind, like, I can't trust you. Because it comes down to I can trust Kenny. I got to be able to trust you. You got to be vice versa. Because the game is the games that are won and lost comes down to trust.
Yep.
Because the coaches have to trust the leaders, and the leaders got to go out there and find a way to get it done.
And 9 times out of 10, that person
is going to let you down.
That costs you a game is the same person that, like Jay said, took a week off in the summer. Late for this, misses this, is going to bite you in the butt.
Going through the motions. Making it look like, I mean, because, you got to have a keen eye to really spot somebody that's going through the motions and making it look like they work hard.
Yep.
Versus a guy that's actually giving it his all, right? And so that's what I hope for Nebraska to get there. You know what I'm saying? And really, to be honest with you, I can't speak for Kenny. He's from St. Louis. I came from Minnesota. I didn't know tiddly poo about Nebraska. I didn't. I mean, all I knew was they just played Florida State, and I was happy that they was calling because I knew it was close, and I knew that I looked and I saw, man, these dudes go to a bowl game in a nice area or nice, warm area every year. They do great academic support. T.O. said that once I commit, I'm 5 years, I'm good. So I knew I was going to graduate. But when I really learned what Nebraska was about, right? When I really learned what it was about was from the older players, the guys that played before me.
And I can speak to that too. But being from St. Louis, the Big 8, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Missouri. So I knew about Nebraska, but I wasn't a Nebraska fan. I was an Oklahoma fan. But when, like Jay said, I learned about Nebraska from the older guys.
Playing on Sundays or guys that have been around.
Or guys that have been around.
Yeah.
I learned about Nebraska from those guys. That's why I took it upon myself to make sure that these guys knew older guys when they came. Because, again, I'm there. I'm in the building. I can talk to them. But for a guy like Jay to come around, the Rich Glovers, Johnny Rogers, the Roziers, to come around, now they can talk to him to try to inform them and get them to believe in the Nebraska way.
And that's when you really take off, because then I'm like, man,
you don't want to let them guys down.
Right. I'm like, man, yeah, I remember being a redshirt freshman. I'm like, I know Troy Dumas is watching. I know Troy Dumas is watching. Probably said 10 words to me when we was in there because Troy was always sleeping.
Yeah, Troy gonna sleep now.
But at the end of the day, he watched me in the Wednesday scrimmages, which was red shirt. But then I knew he was watching. I knew Trevor was had to know because of Coach Sam. I knew Mike Minner and all those guys was watching. But they was also they also dropped knowledge though. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
From Corey Schlesser and all those guys, they was in the workouts with us. So I think once they get that and not be kind of like
not be standoffish
about it. I think it'll make their job easier, and I think you'll see these guys take off. Once they get that one win, that breakthrough, they'll be all good. So that's a little knowledge inside Nebraska. We're gonna come back a short break. Did I just see AG on with my right?
Saw AG?
Yeah.
There he is.
Got that medium shirt on.
Wait, AG don't got us. He's yoked up. AG been yoked up since the day he been on campus.
Oh, I know.
So, we're gonna a little bit with Amon on a crossover. This is old school. Kenny Wilhite, Jay Foreman, and AG gonna pop in real quick. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hi, this is Becky from Midwest Bank, and our team is here for you. From our friendly staff to our innovative products to our online banking and mobile app, all of our services are designed with you in mind. We'll help you open a checking account, apply for a loan, open a credit card, or start saving for the future. We do it all. We're your local community bank, a trusted partner that's here to serve you. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword link. Come work at Continental today. The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Attention Lincoln. Looking for an effective way to reach the fitness goals you haven't been able to accomplish on your own? Body Fit Training science-based programming is led by multiple highly accredited coaches who will help you get the results you're capable of. Their group of strength training classes are designed to help you build muscle, burn fat, and improve your overall fitness level. At BFT Lincoln, you'll train like an athlete and be surrounded by motivated and like-minded individuals. For May only, get 1 week of classes for just $7 by visiting bodyfittraining.com. A lot of businesses say that they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business feels anything but for your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, as they do with customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
If you're interested in installing solar panels in Nebraska, there's a solar Alpine will be involved in the process from start to finish. REC Solar install and handle jobs in Lincoln and the surrounding area. Let us show you real-time results in your area. Call Rick today at 402-440-4371. Solar by Alpine Electric. Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmont. What else? 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Because we are Dorsey, we do a talk show.
Oh,
Dorsey
Dorsey
and Gilbert.
Yeah.
Me and Dorsey wanted to go in when it first happened, but Gilbert was like, "No, that's my guy."
Yeah.
Gilbert said that?
The grave digger.
I was like surprised.
Hey, Kenny Wilhite, next time we have a trivia question, can you name where Gilbert Brown went to college?
Ooh, that's a good one. I know that one.
Hold on.
Don't Google
Oh,
it.
I'm asking
No,
you.
I'm not finna Google it.
The grave digger.
I'm trying to think.
He used to eat cheese for breakfast.
No, that was he didn't go to KU, did he?
I'm asking you.
I think he did go to KU.
Yeah.
He went to KU.
Yeah.
Yep.
Him and Stubblefield.
They were
Yeah.
close to-
But Stubblefield by us did that.
Because you were, so y'all were playing.
That was 92.
Yeah, you played against it.
They came up there, came up to Lincoln. But he went on the media and said they was coming up to Lincoln to kick our butt.
Oh, that's the wrong thing to say.
As soon as he said
you
that,
got that grave digger next to you, though. That gives you a false sense of security.
yes, but as soon as he said
I'm
that,
telling you, Gilbert Brown, when he was somewhat in shape, was housing cats, though, man.
he didn't do nothing against us because it was 52-7.
When he was in
we
Green
go
Bay
at
and
it
had that
every
black visor
time.
on there, and when they had that,
Oh, I remember him now.
and they say he ate 6 cheeseburgers for breakfast. I said, "This is a bad boy right here," and he played the whole game.
Oh yeah, it was a big dude.
Yeah, we do a show together. We talk. We get on him. We are on each other
Really?
because they beat us.
Yeah.
Close.
With Dorsey Levens.
Yeah, Dorsey's on that.
Do you
show.
know where he went to college?
You know,
So on the sneak. On the sneak
I
was he on the sneak. Dorsey Levens went to an undercover school. Nebraska played him in a bowl game.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember watching that as a kid
Yeah.
too.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Nebraska played him in the bowl game. I'll give on this team's older brother is in the Hall of Fame.
NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nebraska played Dorsey Levin's team in the bowl game.
In
Yeah.
college.
In
College.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching that.
I watched it.
I can't remember. I don't know.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
went on when we played him in 90.
He might have been.
He might have been like he didn't play.
He probably was like
Red
deep on the
shirt.
depth.
Remember Pat Swilling?
That's what. Listen to me. That was my red shirt year.
Yeah, his
They were
brother.
loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a squad.
They were
Marco
loaded.
Coleman
I
and all
remember
that.
he went to the Saints.
They were loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played with Georgia Tech.
Yeah. He was there for a hiccup. No, he was at Notre Dame first. Then he came to Georgia Tech.
Yep, he redshirted 91, had to sit out. Notre Dame 89, 92.
Yeah.
11.
Wow.
People don't realize.
He's
I
the
mean,
mayor.
yeah.
He's the mayor of Atlanta right now. You go down to ATL, let
Let's
me
go
know.
to
He'll take care of you.
Oh, well,
You
shit.
said there it is.
Thanks, Jay, for informing me. Yeah, we got our butts kicked.
I know.
Thank you.
Oh,
That was
y'all to win.
But that was the year when, again, there was 2 top 5 picks on that team.
On Georgia Tech?
No,
team?
on ours.
Oh.
Bruce and Mike Crow, 4 and 5,
Yeah.
or 3 and 4, right?
I remember Mike Rowe going to Denver.
Yep. And Bruce went to Atlanta. Yep. But that was the year when we realized that group, most of that group was playing for that reason. And that's when the Husker prayer came won.
So there's always a positive after a butt kicking.
That's when the Husker
Y'all
prayer
got
came
a
out.
butt kick. I remember watching the game.
Tyrone Leggett and Vernon Powell took it to Jack Stark. They buttered it up a little bit.
Okay.
But that's when it came about.
Nice.
I was sitting there
After
watching
that
the bowl
game.
game.
How long it's been
I was like,
around?
man, Nebraska might win a bowl game finally. They ain't playing.
No, we had to play with a walk-on quarterback.
They ain't playing Miami Hurricanes.
Who was it?
You remember the quarterback?
Jerry
Number
Goodell?
15. Nope.
You've mentioned him.
Number 15.
I know I'm going to know the name when you
I
say
definitely
it.
don't know. No.
Tom Haas.
I do not remember. him.
He played it because, yeah.
Who was the starter? Steve Taylor?
Mickey?
Mike.
Or
Mike and
Grant?
Mickey. And Mickey got hurt.
Mickey got hurt.
Yeah. I think he redshirted today. No, he redshirted
So that was
his junior year.
then they say, you know what, we're gonna go get Tommy Frazier.
That was only 90, bro.
Yeah, that was only 90.
91 was Keith and McCann.
Tommy was in 8th grade.
91 was Keith and McCann. Mike Grant redshirted that year.
9th grade.
Because Mickey got hurt in 90.
Are you offering any 8th graders? And I mean, Football
Yeah.
Plus out offers to 8th graders. Are you going
100%.
down the road, offer 8th graders?
Yeah, I was down in Texas last weekend. It was this team from North Carolina. This is the Texas Esports State Championship. And I'm watching these teams play Valorant. And I'm looking at this kid. It's like, he's just a small high school kid. And the coach, I started talking to the coach, gave him my card. And he's like, no, he's an 8th grader. And he's like, I say in Valorant, the highest level is like master or like he's aerodynamic.
He's a 5-star recruit.
Now, my question,
He was a little dude.
so he wasn't like,
No, like in terms of
Stop
traditional
stereotyping,
sports,
Kenny. Come
Hey.
on
traditional
now. Come
sports.
on now.
come
No,
on.
he was like if he did, he looks like he could do something like with a basketball. He looked like a
Okay.
hooper.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Because
And if he is in football, he's probably a slot or a DB.
good. That's good to know.
That's pretty tight, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
Well, that's gonna
man.
end our show with a little blast of the past, and we're gonna turn it over to AG with his show. We appreciate AG popping in like always on Thursday.
Yep.
And then good show today. We had to dress some stuff, but you know what? Oh, tomorrow we're done. So we're gonna holler at you guys on Monday.
Monday.
Monday,
Say it, Jay. Say it.
what? Hip hip.
There you go.
There you go. We out of here.
This is home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
If you're interested in installing solar panels in Nebraska,